Hi, Fabio. Good evening.
Hello, Priscilla.
Finally, it's happening.
Our first live ever.
Yeah, right. It took some years for this to happen, right?
Yeah, it's been a while that we're trying to prepare this live for you guys, but I think we made it. We are ready for you.
Yeah, yeah. And so let's see what's going to happen today, right? Do you think I should start?
You can start, Pri.
Okay, then. First question. Well, I'm Priscila Jarra. I'm an English teacher for almost 20 years now. But not also English, teach English. I am passionate about design. I love studying this, and I love studying things that are related to design and teaching and education. And there are many things that I like. Also, for example, game-based learning and Clio and STEAM. And it's a lot of things, and I think we have a long time to talk about it later. What about you, Fabio?
All right, so my name is Fabio Speck. I'm also a teacher of English, teacher trainer, and I also develop materials. I create games, I create activities. And the reason we created this project, Go, it's because we really feel the importance of using games in class. So the idea is to bring you guys a little bit of this universe.
Yeah.
Um,
And yeah, Fabio, go.
yeah, no, we are a community for teachers.
Mhm.
The idea is for us to share ideas, experiences, and insights.
Yeah, I think we can go for our next question. Well, go in English is a verb to go from one place to another. But we didn't choose this name because of English language. We chose it because it's the number five in Japanese language, go. And number five brings balance. It brings creativity. It's also related to ideas and many more things. So that this is why we chose this name, right, Fabio?
Yes. We also believe that five is a very powerful number. For example, we have five fingers on each hand. We have five sentences. Five senses. Um, and I believe that rituals that use the number five are very important. For example, five steps on doing something, giving five examples. I think that six is too much, four is not enough, five is the perfect number for everything.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think now we can go for the next question.
Well, our goal is to increase our community of teachers made by teachers for teachers, especially who love games and think they are very not important but necessary uh, tool to be used in class. Right, Fabio?
Yes, and we also believe that games they are not only fillers, not only something that we use in class just to have fun, or when we have some minutes spare and then we can spend this time using games. They also can be used for that. But I think games they go a little beyond that. If you use games just to have fun, just to bond with your students, is also fine. But we believe that games can really, really, really teaching something, and they are a very important tool in the learning process. In my opinion, they are really, really important to acquire and to learn a new language.
Yeah.
And I think now we can go for the other question.
Well, games are obviously fun, and fun is something necessary teachers need in class to engage students. And but it's not only fun. Games are also used for pedagogical purposes. And when a kid, when an adult, when a teenager, they learn through games. The brain understands that it's a little bit more, a little bit easier to be internalized, the content to be internalized, right, Fabio?
Yes. There are two ways that are very important when we consider using games in class. I think they do teach students something new. Some people believe that, oh, game is just for fun, it's just to enforce the language. I think that they can also reinforce a language, reinforce content, reinforce vocabulary, having students practicing what they had learned, but they can actually teach something new. There are many, many things that students can learn from games. Since the procedures, the language that we use in games, uh, the step by step on how to play a game, but also new words, new expressions. When we choose, for example, a topic, oh, let's play a game that has to do with parts of the house and furniture, for example. There might be some new words on the game that students will incorporate in their repertoire. And I think now we can talk a little bit how games are important to us, to me, Fabio, and to me, Priscilla. Priscilla, tell me a little bit about how games are important to you, your experience with games, not only in class, but also outside, playing with friends.
Yeah, games are part of my life since I was a kid. Uh, I think every kid, right? But in my house, we used to have like board games and card games for kids. And it was like a moment, it were moments for the family to be together and have fun and interact and engage with each other. When I started growing up, it was the same situation, but with friends from school first and then friends all over. And not only board games and, like um, games that are physical, but also video games. I've always loved video games, and I still play video games. And it's fun because when I start a new group, a new semester with a new class, we always talk to students about our favorite things to do. When I tell them, especially kids, that I like video games, their faces go like, "What? But you're a girl and you're old. How come you like video games?" And it's a moment of ice break. So, um, playing games in class and also video games, because I've been doing this for quite some time, using video games to teach, to get the student to focus, especially in private classes, because it's something they love and it's going to be natural for them. Motivation.
Yeah, and I think I share the same feeling with Pri. When I was a kid, I used to love playing games. Um, Also video games, but I really liked the board games, the card games, the games that we used to play among us friends, for example, like guess the word and try not to repeat the word, those types of games. When I start teaching, to me it was impossible to teach and not using a gaming class, for example. Um, a few years ago, I started to enjoy buying games. So there was a moment that I started to buy board games, card games, and start using them with my students as well. Me and Priscilla, there were some moments that we used to go out with our friends. We used to play lots of games together and have a lot of fun. Um, Even in English, sometimes we would use Portuguese, sometimes we would use English because we have some friends that are native speakers. And I can tell you, the moment we stop everything and play a game, everything changes. We feel more relaxed. We feel more not judged anymore, so we can make mistakes, we can say things wrong. We are there as a community, and this community of people that play games together is the same feeling that we want here at Go, right, Priscilla?
Yeah, totally.
All right, and we can go for the next question.
Well, that's a tricky question because there are endless kinds of games, right? But now we're going to talk about two, especially two categories of games, which are competitive games and collaborative games. They're both important. Yes, competitive games are important because competitive games they're going to teach students, especially little kids, young learners, that they can win and they will lose too. So playing games in a safe environment with people they know, even if they lose, they are going to understand that it's a possibility also in life, and they start from a young age to deal with this feeling, right? And collaborative games, they are my favorite kind because everybody play together and everybody depends on everybody, and it's way more fun. They're both fun, these two kinds, competitive and collaborative. But collaborative games, students they get to motivate the other, like go, let's finish this, let's make it happen. So at the end, it's way more engaging for everybody as they have only one goal, right, Fabio?
Yes, and it's good to vary the games. Like you don't have to use one type of game all the time. You can vary. Sometimes you use a collaborative game, sometimes you use a competitive game, sometimes you just give them a challenge for them to do together. I think that is the magic of the thing, like experiencing new types of playing games. Another thing that we can talk about games, another way of separating the games, dividing them, is, for example, there are games that we play because we buy them. So games that we buy, for example, here I have some examples of one of my favorite games. This is a collaborative game. Um, Pretty much we can use in English and in Portuguese. So if you are with your friends, you can use whatever language. But if you are with your students, the cards have not written. There is a challenge, and you just use them. So that is the thing. When you buy games, you can use them in two different ways. You can use the game as it is, or you can adapt to the language you're using. You can incorporate new language, new content, and so on. Sometimes we can buy games in English. Nowadays, they are not so expensive. This one, for example, there is a version in Portuguese, but this version here is in English. A very nice game, really, really nice. Um, but there is another thing. Sometimes you can create games from the scratch. So one way is using games that you buy, so you can use them as they are, or you can adapt. And the other one, you can create games. For example, here I have the popcorn game. We have a post on our Instagram about this game, and it's pretty much a game to describe words. So students, for example, pick a popcorn, they read the word, and they have to describe this word to the whole group. So you can create the rules, they can mime, they can spell it, they can describe. Um, you can use the same popcorn game using letters. So, for example, every time they get a letter, they have to choose a word that starts with a letter and then describe it. For very young learners, for example, you can use colors. So the popcorn here now has colors. So they have to pick a color and point to something that has the same color, or try to spell it, or try to describe something that has this color. It depends on the necessity of the game. First of all, you have to find a goal. What is your objective playing this game? And then you can choose if you're going to use one of the games that are already done, that are already in your game bank, or create a game from the scratch. And then you can incorporate
Fabio,
language.
I think it's interesting if you comment the reaction of the students when they are creating the game. And at the end, they go crazy because they want to take the game home, right? This is really, really cool.
Yes, there are some moments that I prepare the game and I bring the game to students. The game is done, so they start playing. In the end, one of the students can take the game home, and I always try to be fair and have at least one game to each student throughout the semester. But Priscilla mentioned something very important. Sometimes they like to be involved in the process of making the game. So sometimes you just bring the idea to class, they start building the game with you. For example, imagine that you are creating a card game with instructions. They can create the instructions, they can decide the mechanics of the game, the step by step, the procedures. And the more you involve students in the game process, the more motivated they are. So if they start playing the game, they will feel motivated. If they start creating the game with you, they will feel way more motivated. And that is the feeling that I want to bring you guys. We want to bring you lots of ideas on how to have this experience with your students in class. And we are not only talking about young learners, we're talking about young learners, teenagers, adults, groups, individual students, when you have private students, and so on.
I can go for the next question.
Yes. All right, guys. So what do you want to offer you as a community? First of all, pretty soon we're going to start releasing some games for you to buy with very affordable prices. So the games that we're going to bring to you guys, they are in the format print and play. It means that you buy this game for a very fair price. Once you have it forever. You download the PDF, you make as many copies as you want, you can play with all your groups, you can share with your friends, with your colleagues, and so on. That is the idea of our community. The idea is to bring this universe to you and provide you with the best experience you could have with those games that we create for you.
Yeah, and not only print and play games and other kinds of games, we also offer training courses, workshops, mentoring sessions, and they are all personalized to the need of the teacher or a group of teachers. So when we have a prospect, we have a conversation and we talk, and we have to understand, we must understand the need of that specific teacher or group of teachers. So having everything we talked about so far together, we plan this according to that group of teachers or teachers' need. Right, Fabio?
Yes. We are also going to prepare some ebooks for you. So we're gonna have ebooks based on a specific topic. For example, games that we use to describe words, or games involving arts, games involving music. So ebooks are gonna be like a collection of ideas for you to read and start applying in your class. We are also going to offer you lesson plans, all based on games. And we also have some YouTube content. We have a channel on YouTube. We post some quizzes. And in the future, we're going to extend those quizzes, those videos that we posted. And we're going to give you some more ideas and tips on how to maximize the use of these videos and quizzes in your classes.
Yeah, and for that to happen in an optimum way, it's like we've mentioned before, it's necessary for you to engage with us, to communicate with us, right, Fabio? Apart from that, of course, we offer free tips on social media and free brain breaks, for example, like on YouTube. And if you need a brain break for your class, there are quizzes. They are still in the very beginning, but we are feeding our YouTube on a week basis. And pretty soon it's going to be filled with free videos for you to use in your class as well. And I think we can go for the next question. Well, like I've mentioned, Go only exists because we really truly believe that teachers should come together and have a community, a live community, so we can a living community, so we can share ideas. And the easiest ways for us to have that with you is, if you go on our Instagram, we always post on stories. We always post, those question boxes, so you can answer our questions. So we are guided throughout what you really need. When we post something, it's really important that you comment, because we think of many things when we are developing an activity or a game. But since we are only human, maybe we cannot think of something that for you is really obvious. So sharing ideas is really, really important to us, and also, of course, to you. Right, Fabio?
Yes. And now we are coming to an end, and we have one more topic for us to talk. So, yeah, guys, can we count on you? Uh, More than following us on social media, Priscilla mentioned that we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have a YouTube channel. Um, but nothing of this will happen if we don't listen to you guys. We want to hear from you. We really need this interaction, because we need to understand, what are your questions, what are your doubts about using games in class, what are the challenges, how can we help you, and how can we be a strong community in our area. um, Teachers need to develop all the time. We need to go on, we need to study, we need to find new ways of bringing fun and significant topics to our classes. So that is the idea. We really, really want you guys to be an effective part of our community. And because it's a journey, playing games can be really, really fun. But if you use them with a purpose, you can see that it's not only fun, it's brilliant. And that is our invitation. We invite you to join our community. We invite you to follow our tips, comments. If you need something, we are here for you guys. And that's it.
Yeah, I think we covered the very basics of Go, right, Fabio? There's way more of us to be shared with you from time to time. And well, I think we can call them for the next lives. Are you going to tell them, or should I?
You
What
can tell
comes
them.
next? Okay, then. So, our following lives, we are going to talk about the difference of playing games, teaching on a game-based learning strategy or methodology, and gamification, because they're all different. So this is what we are going to have in our next lives. And let's go and see you next time. Bye, Fabio.
Bye bye, everybody. See you
Bye.
soon.